Don't miss our heated metals tutorial.
Spiking bits.
What's up, hobby maniacs? I'm Baer, and today we have not one but two tutorials for you on painting heated metal effects on your weapons, from barrels to all sorts of different things out there. The Knight is an incredible miniature. This one features some 3D upgrade parts, making it custode from Shapeways. What is it? Gadgets Plus over there. Shane, an incredible artist, comes up with all sorts of upgrades for this thing here. You can see the link below. We got him painted up. Now, this tutorial features two different ways to do it, from the secret weapon sweet heat triad, as I like to call it. I eat a lot of buffalo wings. What can I say? And and trying to emulate it with 4 colors from scale 75. One of them actually a Reaper color, but everybody spoke on our Twitch stream and they preferred the secret weapon style. But I'm going to show you both just in case. Of course, it's up to you, but don't let our decision live affect which one you decide on, because they both look pretty good and they both have extreme uses depending on which one you want to go with. It really depends on your style of painting. If you have a bright comic book looking kind of Nurgle demon or something, or a chaos, the comic book style might be for you. But the more realistic style, like you see here on this Custode Knight, might actually benefit a more realistic kind of matted style. So 2 different ways, both great in and of themselves. So let's jump right into it. So we got a Gatling gun, and now it's time to throw some heat scoring on it, which I think is going to look pretty dope. Now, I wanted to do a whole scale 75 video on this particular stress metal tutorial, but I couldn't find a substitute for the Reaper Orange Brown. Reaper Orange Brown and Reaper Harvest Brown are 2 spectacular colors that, as of yet, have not found a good substitute for out there in the painting world. So these might be 2 colors that you should add to your hobby paint arsenal. But for now, we're going to start with this orange brown. We filled our airbrush up with it, and we're just going to get in here and we're going to give it a nice thick coat, probably back, say, about 1/8 of an inch, give or take. So I'm just going to get in here, hose it all down, leave lots of room for fading towards the top, getting that heat stress all in there, and we'll come back and show you what we got. So there's our fades all tapered off towards the back, but leaving lots of room to fade out the next several colors to the front to get that heat fade effect. Now we can have fun with some scale 75s. I grabbed up Baer Height Red. I don't know if that's how you say it, but we're just inventing words at this point. From scale 75's fantasy line, this comes in their, what is it called? Creatures from Hell paint set. It looks to be pretty good if you're, I don't know, doing some fantasy miniatures, but it's a nice shiny red right there. You can see with a little bit of orange in it. So that's more what I'm concerned about at this point. So again, now we're going to taper that fade in here. We're going to make sure we get the front really well coated and then start working it towards the back. And there she is. Beautiful red and brown fades, but we're not done yet because that, well, looks stupid at that point. Next up is going to be some perps. Got to get in here with this Brain Eater Azure from their fantasy line, which I think is a different set. That looks to be the Unnatural Flesh set. So if you like zombies and stuff, you might want to check that set out. But that being said, we're just going to do the same thing. Come in here. Well, first, let's make sure all this is dry. It's still a little wet. Now, we mixed in some of the previous color, which we didn't mention before. So we cleaned out all the colors, and then we used the same brush to mix in a little bit of the same tonal palette. So it's not quite the same purple straight out of the pot, but it's going to get in there. And now we're just aiming towards the front. So we're pointing down towards the front instead of kind of mid-range like we were with the red, down towards the front. And when we hit to the next color, it's just going to be the very, very tips. So we're going to go in and hit all this fanning out from the middle towards the front. And now our purple's done. Got that nice midpoint there, kind of jumped the little support bracket back a little bit, faded it, but we still got plenty of room up here for the last color, which is going to be Tesla blue, and a very regal kind of looking blue right there. Already got it preloaded, and now, like I said, we're going to point this spray at the very tips just to get in there and shade the very ends of it. So we're ready, and now we are just going to hit the very ends here, just concentrating on the ends of the barrels, and we're going to fade it back from there over this purple. And boom goes the dynamite. There it is. All sorts of heat stress right there. This is going to look great on that Imperial Knight, like it's been doing a lot of DACA. Probably want to break and replace that barrel, I suppose. Can't be battle ready when your barrel is red hot, but it looks great. It's a rather unrealistic kind of look as terms go. Like, this isn't something you would want to see on the battlefield, but it looks great, contrast with all these metals and these reds. Now we're going to show you a way to do this very same thing in a more realistic manner using a different set of paints, and there's only 3 sets in that paint. Alright, no shortage of weapons on the Knight, so now we're going to do a different technique on the thermal cannon. We're going to use the secret weapon mini heat triad. I call them the sweet heats. There's only 3, so first up is the orange heat. Now, we didn't have to add flow improver here. The first go around I did. I forgot how these work. Used them before, but you know, sometimes it's just straight hobby YOLO. So we're going to get in here. This is more of an opaque, so you got to treat it from a little bit wider stance. But again, we're going to come back to about halfway. You can see it's got a nice sheen to it. Breaks the tension up for the spray. I did not add any flow improver, so we're just going to kind of coat it in here. And since it is an opaque, maybe we'll go back 3/4 of the miniature right here. So the opaqueness of, or excuse me, the translucentness of the secret weapon paints have allowed us to get some really nice fades in there, but also build up the coats towards the front for the next color, which will be purple heat, kind of in between, more of a, I guess, more of a magenta than a true violet. So again, I'm gonna load up the airbrush here, straight into the airbrush, make sure we got a good shake on the bottle, and we're just gonna aim towards the top, working our way back just a little bit and start working these angles in there and going towards the back. Man, I tell you what, that has made some awesome looking effects right there. So we concentrated towards the tip, but also faded it back over that orange heat right there. So formed a really great amalgam color there. And last but certainly not least, we're gonna hit it with this blue heat to really, really bring this out and kind of put it all together. So again, instead of aiming towards the middle, we're gonna aim off forward to get those angles, and really start to put this together here. Just towards the top, just aiming just a little back on the barrel right there so you can start to see the effect between the 3. And we're going to repeat this process, rotating it around. And there it is, all done at the very ends right there. You can tell this definitely looks like it's almost to completely start breaking down at auto tolerances. Obviously, whoever's in charge this night would stop shooting it, hopefully at this point, making for a really interesting effect. Now, comparing the two together, it's gonna be very strikingly different. Of course, the secret weapon miniatures effects are more of a realistic kind of side, whereas just straight throwing colors onto here produces something that is perhaps a bit more comic booky, but overall might get noticed a little bit better, I suppose, whereas this one will allow you to shine through on some other effects and some other areas on your particular miniature. So neither's right and neither is wrong, in my opinion, I suppose, but each produces a very striking result nonetheless. So which one would you use? Well, I think I like this one because it pops, but this one might work depending on how much other work you're going to do on your knight. So leave it in the comments on which one you would prefer between these two different types of heat stress recipes for airbrushing metals. Now, if you like these kind of tutorials, make sure you subscribe to this channel and mash that notifications key so you can be the very first to like and comment on our videos here. And of course, head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the 8th edition battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.